Hey everyone, this is Heidi from the blog Hands Occupied with another knitting video tutorial for you today. In this video, we're going to talk about how to work a really fun slip stitch pattern that uses a repeat of 8 rows and slipping of stitches to get these elongated loops that form a zigzag pattern that adds some really unique texture to your work. And if you're new to slip stitches, this is a great one to play with. For this easy slip stitch pattern, we're going to start with a cast on that's a multiple of 4 stitches. So for demonstration's sake, I've got 8 stitches here on my needle. And the first row of this stitch repeat is knit all the way across. So I went ahead and did that already just to save us a couple minutes. We're looking at the wrong side of our work and row 2. So what we're going to do is begin by slipping 1 stitch with the yarn in front towards us and purling 3. So slip 1, purl 3, slip 1 with the yarn in front and purl 3 more. All right, and now turning to the right side of our work, we're going to knit 3 stitches, and then we will slip the 4th stitch with our yarn in back. So we'll be slipping the same stitch that we slipped in the previous row. So again, knit 3, and slip 1, like so. Next, we are back on the wrong side of our work, and what we're going to do is kind of like cabling, if you've done cable knitting before. You're going to take that slipped stitch and drop it to the front of your work and just let it hang loose, but be careful not to pull on it to undo the loop. So while we've got that loop hanging out there, we are going to purl 2, like so, being careful not to undo that slip stitch. Then we're going to put that slip stitch back on our left-hand needle and now purl it. So instead of having that stitch slipped first, we drop it to the front, purl 2 stitches, and then purl it out of order. So it is a lot like cabling. Now we'll purl 1 more. And we'll repeat that 1 more time across this little 8 stitch count row we've got going. So right here, you can see the slipped stitch. We're dropping it to the front of our work. We'll purl 2 before picking up that stitch that's at the front. Purl that and finish the row with 1 more purl. So if we look here at the front of our work, you can see what we've done with those slipped stitches. The 2 here are the elongated stitches that are at an angle, and there you can see that they're longer and it's been pulled out of place across the bed of stockinette stitch behind it, and giving it a really interesting dynamic look that you don't see every day. So that's the first 4 rows of our project for this stitch. And for the next 4 rows, we're going to do the same thing, but the stitches that are slipped will be angled the other way. So let's do that. Just like for the first row of this stitch, we're going to knit all the way across the whole row. All right, next we'll turn to the wrong side, and now we are at row 6 in this stitch repeat. So we're going to purl 2 stitches, slip 1 with the yarn in front, purl 1. Then we'll repeat that again. Purl 2 stitches, slip 1 with the yarn in front, and finish off that row by purling. And you'll notice that the stitch you're slipping, which is this one and this one, you'll notice that it lines up with where the other slipped stitch was drawn across to be in your work. Now on this right side row, we're going to knit 1, slip 1, and knit 2. We'll do that one more time. Knit 1, slip 1, knit 2. Now this 8th row is probably the most complicated of all of them, but essentially we're doing the same thing we did in row 4 of this stitch, which is to say we're working these out of order, just like cabling. So for row 8, we're going to slip 2 stitches onto our right hand needle. Then we're going to drop the slipped stitch to the front of our work and slip these 2 stitches back to the left hand needle before placing the slipped stitch on our left hand needle. Now we will purl all of those. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we'll do that one more time. We'll slip the 2 stitches to our right needle, drop the slipped stitch, pass the 2 stitches from the right needle to the left, pick up the slipped stitch, and purl the rest of the row, like so. And so that's the 8 rows that you'll repeat to do this slip stitch pattern. This stitch is right at home in beanies and cowls worked in the round, but can also be played with working flat for Afghan squares and baby blankets. If you have any other ideas for great places to use this stitch, let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions, that's the place to ask those. And don't forget to tune in again soon for even more knitting video tutorials.